For our next story here, we are going to be talking about Blade Runner 2049, which came out this week. Biggest movie coming out this week.
Definitely.
Very highly anticipated. I saw it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I know you haven't seen it yet.
I haven't, so...
But I'm not going to say anything. All I say was I loved it and it was great. That's all I'll say about it. Sitting at an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Projected to do $36 million this weekend. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, who we both love. He did an amazing job with this, really made it his own, made it stand apart from Ridley, but made you feel like it was still connected in the same universe. Starring Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Jared Leto in a great supporting role, and then Ana de Armas, who's an up-and-coming actress, is in there. Visually, the DP on this movie, Roger Deakins, the great Roger Deakins, just blows you away in this. It's just amazing. And then a Hans Zimmer score, which is always great.
Always great. And I haven't seen the movie like you said, but I've definitely seen the trailer and analyzed it, and it just looks visually beautiful, stunning.
Yeah,
like it's so rich in its visuals. And I'd say, like I've said this before to some other people, but it's definitely a futuristic film noir.
Yes, very much so. Sci-fi film noir. It just everything in the trailer that you see visually is in the film plus 1,000.
Well, I'm really excited.
There's not one shot in the film that you don't look at and go, wow.
Exactly. That's one thing with the trailer is that every shot seemed like the best shot until the next shot happened.
Yeah. There's just so much play with colors, different color schemes. Like there's a city setting that's one color, and then a desert setting that's another. Mm-hmm. And it's just, and you saw that in the trailer. It's like
themes.
Yeah, you get like those blues, and then there's like those kind of like anime style like pinks and like bright greens and stuff. There's just so much fun in this.
Definitely one more thing I'd say about the picture is that it also had different tones to it, especially for the travel sequences. It'd be half the screen is one color while the other one is another color, and that's almost like it's passing through the frame.
just great composition in it.
Yes.
Yeah, just amazing.
And Jared Leto in that.
Jared Leto.
I feel like he's gonna have a great role there.
He did. He had a very good supporting role in that.
Mm-hmm.
He's great at what they gave him with this.
And he's gonna have a lead in a new movie, right?
Lead in a new movie. So announced this week that he would play the late Playboy founder Hugh Hefner. Directed in a movie by Brett Ratner, most famously from The Rock's Hercules, which came out a few years ago, and X-Men: The Last Stand, which came out I think like 10 years ago.
Wow, that's like a interesting.
Yes, it's
definitely. I'd say Leto could be a good choice for Hugh Hefner, definitely. But as for the director, I was not blown away with Hercules.
No, not at all.
And The Last Stand, known as the worst X-Men movie.
That and Origins,
Yeah, those two. But I remember you saying that he produced The Revenant.
He produced The Revenant, that's right.
And I'd almost go to say that hopefully he can use some of his skills that bring good people, creative people together to help with this Hugh Hefner film.
Yeah. I'll say with Jared Leto, every role he takes very seriously.
Definitely.
Which is great. So if he can kind of if him and Brett Ratner can kind of work together and kind of maybe let Jared do his thing and kind of give him a space that he needs.
Some like creative freedom.
Some creative freedom on that, just to kind of, because based on the track record, I'm going with Jared. So let Jared do his thing, and then story-wise, I want to see kind of more of the founding of Playboy.
Definitely.
Rather than maybe more of like a more modern, maybe Playboy's already established and we just kind of focus on like Hef's life after that. I really want to see him coming up.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be the best story in general.
Yeah,
like
rather than
coming up,
I hope it's not like a frat boy movie where it's just like Hugh at the mansion. That's not what I want to see.
It's not going to be Neighbors 3, but Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, that's not. I want to see kind of the struggle of him like
building
fighting,
a business.
Yes, building a business and fighting all of these censors saying this magazine's never going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do a magazine like this. None of these things are ever going to work.
Basically, like a like working at your dreams and creating something new in the world type of movie.
Look, what would be great if this is like Mad Men but Playboy. That's kind of what I would do. And a lot of TV shows, there was the Playboy Club. There's a show on Amazon called American Playboy, which is like more, I would say it's more like a documentary more than anything, but it does have actors. So part of it's like real life footage of Hugh, and then part of it's like an actor playing Hugh.
Like staged.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting. The Playboy story has been very popular in the last 10 years. So it's going to be interesting. We'll wait and see on that. But other exciting casting news this week. Exciting-ish. Kate Winslet is set to join the Avatar universe in James Cameron's Avatar 2.
And you're saying they're trying to make many of these
So
films.
there's 5 total there's 4 more planned, and then there's the first one. So there's Avatar 1, which we got almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah, that was a long time
I think
ago.
it was like 2009, but I think that's when Avatar came out.
Wow.
And then so now there's been, I think it's going to be Avatar 2 is going to come out in 2019. So there's going to be almost that 10-year difference, and then Avatar 2, and immediately following we'll have 3, 4, and 5. No idea on the plot. All we know is Avatar 2 is for the most part going to take place underwater in Pandora.
That is so fitting for James Cameron.
Very fitting for James Cameron.
Considering he's done a lot of deep sea diving and exploring.
Yep.
But I'm not sure how I feel about an Avatar 2.
Yeah. I've said it. I said it last week on the show, and I'll say it again. It's not my favorite movie. I did not enjoy it. I know a lot of people did. Visually, I very much enjoyed Avatar, but other than that, the story I wasn't a huge fan. I didn't even find the story that original.
I'd say like the first viewing, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought everything was fantastic, but it's not one of those movies for me that I can go watch again and again.
Yeah,
mostly because of the just cliches and the just simplicity of the storyline. Once you break it down, once you take the visuals away and that they're on a different planet, it's pretty basic. Yeah, it's just and that's what that movie was sold as, and that's why it made a lot of money, was because you need to see it in 3D, you need to see it in IMAX, you're going to see it multiple times. So they sold like these $30 movie tickets for every showing, and that's why the movie made $2 billion. Yeah.
Not because it's a great movie, but because visually...
Yeah, visually it was something to
that we've never seen at that
Exactly.
point. Now it's more common. I mean, since then we've gotten a lot more CGI heavy movies. Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book, I thought was amazing with CGI. And I've heard his Lion King is coming along beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, even full movies that are mostly CGI, like The Jungle Book, or
The Hobbits and Lord of the Rings, Life of Pi, yeah.
See, I thought CGI for The Hobbit was actually a little downturn.
It was a little, there was a scene in I think it was Desolation of Smaug where they're fighting like the giant ogres, and that it just looked kind of cheesy.
Yeah, and I'd almost say like I think the difference why the original trilogy is I guess perceived better than the Hobbit trilogy. Yeah. So one, maybe they didn't need to make a trilogy.
They really didn't.
Is their use of CGI, especially for fight sequences.
Yep.
Like I remember in the Battle of how many armies? It's like
5
armies.
Yeah. Battle
of 5 armies when the dwarves come out and they create this like wall with their shields.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, are these dwarves like super dwarves now?
Yeah.
Or what? Because I really enjoyed how they mixed CGI with numbers of like an army, but still had live action fighting. Yeah,
and I think another thing with the Hobbit, it was really rushed compared to the Lord of the Rings. And Peter Jackson, I don't think was 100% on board with the Hobbit. He was kind of like, they were kind of like, you can do it, or we're gonna have someone else do it. He's like, well, that's kind of like my baby, and I'm gonna do it. And they're like, oh, but you're gonna make 3 movies, right? And he's like, why? And they're like, because we want to make money. But going back to Kate Winslet.
He looks at the script and it's like a 20-page kitchen scene.
Yeah. How long could we have the hobbits just hanging in the Shire without people getting bored? But so this is Kate Winslet coming back. Worked with James Cameron, obviously on Titanic. But we don't know in what role, if she's even playing a human or if she's playing one of the Na'vi. We don't know. We don't know anything about it. I mean, it'd probably be more interesting if she was a Na'vi or like an underwater.
I guess one thing I say with the Avatar is that it probably will have a continuous storyline because they're coming out so quickly.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see some
Yeah.
differences in
Yeah.
characters,
Yeah.
and maybe the characters come together in the last one.
Yeah.
Or
I
different
mean,
tribes, or different outcomes. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
I mean, different tribes would definitely be something really cool. So yeah, Kate Winslet, I wouldn't say she's one of my favorite. Actually, I don't have anything against her.
Yeah.
She also has a new movie coming out this week. I think it's called The Mountain Between Us.
Yes.
Yeah, The Mountain with Idris Elba, who's one of my favorite. I won't say up and coming, but he really hasn't had his huge moment to shine yet.
Mhm.
Beast of No Nation was amazing, which was kind of like
Yeah,
a
he
huge
was
starring role
just
for him.
in The Dark Tower, and that one didn't really
It didn't
come
do
out.
good with Matthew McConaughey, a Stephen King adaptation that didn't do well critically or at the box office. But then a few weeks later, it just blew it away.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
I saw a little bit of it, bits and pieces,
Yeah.
and it wasn't stunning.
Yeah.
It was kind of like
Yeah.
normal as a.
I was intrigued by the concept.
Definitely intrigued to see Matthew McConaughey in a villainous role, and
Yeah.
it looked like for Idris that the role fit him.
Yeah,
perfectly.
like this idea, like the gunslingers and things like that.
Yes.
Like really,
It looked
piqued
like
my curiosity.
he's the one to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I think maybe it's where the script
Yeah,
and that kind of brought it down.
yeah. But his new movie with Kate Winslet isn't getting great reviews, but they're saying them two together are working really well. So I mean, they're both very great actors. But
Yeah.
but Kate Winslet, other than Titanic, isn't another one of my favorite films. Also, it's okay. It's,
I liked it, but it's such an investment now.
yeah, it's like
Especially if you're watching on TV. Take 8 hours out of your day.
yeah. I mean,
It's crazy.
I understand the boat sank for a long time, but I mean.
Like 4
do I-
hours.
do I- yeah, no. I mean, I can't really think. I loved Revolutionary Road with her and Leo.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, they did that one. I want to say that was 2008, but I'm not 100% sure. But that was that was a good movie. I liked her in a lot,
Mhm.
and of course, I loved Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's my favorite movie with
Mhm.
her in it when she plays Clementine with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I'm really not excited for Mountain Between Us.
No, I'm probably not going to see it.
Yeah. I think it's already out of theaters.
Yeah.
No, wait, no,
it's
it
in
can't
theaters.
be. It's in theaters right now.
It's getting its wide release this week, but Blade Runner is going to
Yeah.
be the big one. This
That's
week.
why I totally forgot it was in theaters. So
Yeah,
Runner.
yeah. A lot of people aren't that excited for it. But yeah, that's her joining Avatar. We'll see what happens.
Definitely.
Here's the thing with Avatar. They announced 5. Okay, everyone's gonna see number 2 just because they're curious.
Yes.
After that, they're gonna lose a lot of people. And when number 3 comes out, people aren't gonna be curious as much. They're gonna say, like, "Oh, so that's where he went with the story," or
Mhm.
or I didn't really like the first one. The second one was just okay. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he blows it out of the water and it's amazing.
Well, even if the second one is just as big as the first one, it's
Yeah.
probably even if that happens, you're still going to lose fans all the way.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna lose. I mean, it's probably gonna make the $2 billion that Avatar 1 made, and I mean, it's getting easier and easier, or I'll say it's getting more common for the movies to break that $1 billion box office
Mhm.
now. We're having a lot of movies do it, but now the big competitors are Star Wars and Avatar are always gonna make that $2 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the second one definitely will, just because people are curious. Again, he'll hit us with the visuals because it will be underwater and it will be something different other than this planet that we already know.
Mm-hmm. I'd say one thing that can hurt it though, kind of like Valerian, the City of a Thousand Planets,
Yeah.
is that the source material isn't well known, and since Avatar was written by James Cameron,
Yep.
right? People don't really know the story of.
The story could be anything, really.
It could be anything, and with Valerian, I believe it was a French comic strip.
Yeah,
Or
so,
some type of foreign.
yeah,
comic
it was a very famous comic strip that the director Luke Benson just always loved.
Mhm.
And Valerian's a great example of a studio taking a risk on something. Studios don't like taking risks because it
Mhm.
doesn't pay off, like Valerian.
Like Valerian.
But at least they tried. At least they said, okay, we're not sure about this. It's not a guaranteed moneymaker, and even the stars of it weren't guaranteed stars.
No, they
they
weren't.
could have easily put some guaranteed box office stars in that, but they went with Dane DeHaan, who's relatively unknown. He most famously Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Mhm.
but also in Chronicle,
Yeah.
which I really enjoyed. And then Cara Delevingne, who's a model, and kind of an actress.
Kind of an actress.
So I mean, they went really hard. I heard visually Valerian was amazing.
Yes, definitely.
But story-wise, people lost interest after like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't really have a clear objective.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
they, I'd say that is.
Yeah,
is the
but I'll say at least they tried. They took a risk instead of let's just make a sequel to something we know is going to make money.
Exactly.
That's what I'll say about that.
And hopefully Avatar does not go down the same path.
Yeah, hopefully
Valerian.
Avatar isn't just kind of like. Hopefully it's not James Cameron just saying I want to make 5 Avatars movies. Hopefully he actually has like a story for each and every one of them that he actually like passionately wants to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, and each one has kind of a different story, and it's not, I would love it if they don't all piggyback off of each other, if they kind of each stand alone.
Yes, exactly.
Like, we get a movie just about the Na'vi, no humans. And then we get a movie just about, like, the human military side of it, it would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get this underwater one that we're getting with number 2. And then maybe a completely different tribe that we didn't even know lives on the Earth.
Yeah, and I will say something that could branch the audience is, let's say James Cameron directs the second one, but then becomes a producer and brings in different directors for the different films.
And for Blade Runner, that definitely worked out. I mean, it would be a completely different movie if Ridley Scott directed it.
Mm-hmm.
But Ridley Scott did the first one, and then I heard an interview with Denis Villeneuve, and they asked him what input has Ridley Scott given you, and he said, oh, he's a producer on the movie, but he's really letting me do my own thing and put my spin on it, which is great. It's always great when the director actually has control of their product.
That is really important because otherwise,
and it shows. We can tell when they don't have control,
or just their creativity is boxed.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, Final Cut is a hard thing to get nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Very few directors get that Final Cut. But one that always shocks me. Did you know Michael Bay gets Final Cut on all the Transformers movies?
They make so much money.
But still, that's like Michael Bay gets Final Cut.
It's crazy, but without Michael Bay,
yeah,
it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah. Okay. But does a movie about robots who are actually cars but who are actually aliens? Does it need to be 2.5 hours?
No, definitely not. And I will say this: the first Transformers,
yeah,
I thought I liked it.
Visually, Transformers will always blow me away, but the first Transformers, seeing it for the first time, like, oh, this looks like they're actually there.
Not only that, but Transformers 1 had a connection between humans and the robots that neither of the other ones had.
Yeah.
And it was maybe because it was more of an origin story.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because the Shia LaBeouf character was the star. And it wasn't the robots.
Yeah.
You know, they were secondary to the whole thing.
And going off that, where the robots are now the main characters, we're getting a Bumblebee movie. Where it's a Bumblebee spin-off. I think it takes place in the 1980s with Haley Steinfeld. And just her and Bumblebee. Wow. Not directed by Michael Bay.
Wow, interesting.
So it's going to be interesting to see if a non-Michael Transformers movie is good. Mm-hmm. So if it's actually Michael Bay who's the problem, or if we're just tired of the IP. That's what's going to be interesting about this movie.
Yeah,
it could be a real turning. It could be a real turning point.
I will say that something that the Transformers did, and another pattern with Pirates of the Caribbean, is that they made a secondary characters the main characters, and when you do that,
besides Jack Sparrow.
Well, with Jack Sparrow, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, if you think about it, the first Pirates of the Caribbean was really about Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, to an extent, it was the story of Will and Elizabeth, but Johnny Depp was the star of that movie.
Yes, he was the star, but his character pushed the story for Orlando Bloom.
Yeah.
You know, the chest, it was all about Will Turner.
Yep.
And his character pushed that storyline. But I'm mostly saying this for this latest Pirates of the Caribbean.
Dead Men's Star on the Sail, yeah.
It was, I don't know if you've seen it.
I saw it.
I did not like it at all.
I liked it better than 4. It was, for me,
I wouldn't even compare it to 4.
I mean, it was, okay, so Pirates of the Caribbean gradually got worse. From the first one was great, second one was okay, third one, fourth one was awful, and then I'll say fifth was like a step up.
See, the thing that happened with the fifth one is it didn't seem like Jack was the same character. he seemed like a totally different character from the first one.
Yeah.
From being a clever, witty character that also had strategy.
Yeah.
From just being a dumb, lucky character.
Yeah, that's kind of what they've done with him.
And not only that, but they had so many more different, stronger characters in the first 3 movies than they did in the latter ones.
Yeah, and it kind of fell into the trope where it's like, okay, we're gonna put Jack Sparrow fighting against a spooky ghost pirate. That's like the plot of all the movies. Like the first one, ghost pirates. The second one, ghost pirates underwater.
Octopus face.
Yeah, octopus face. The third one's like I don't even know if the third.
Actually, no.
They all blend together. Which one's the Kraken?
The Kraken was the second one.
I couldn't even tell.
Yeah, but the third one was actually kind of cool because that was the one against the British Army.
Yes, and then the fourth one is like
mermaids.
Mermaids.
That's all I remember.
It's mermaids and Jack trying to find the cup, and then the fifth one is ghost pirates again.
Yeah, and I'd say they're going into more legends.
Yeah, they go heavy on, like the fourth one was Ponce de Leon, the third one was the second one was Davy Jones. Like they rely on like the pirate mythology really well, and the fifth one was
Poseidon.
Poseidon, yeah.
And I'd almost say this, that kind of hopefully what Avatar doesn't do is they had, well, I don't think Avatar can do it because it's not taken from any source material, but they had a really good known story. Davy Jones, anyone who kind of knows, pirates, knows who Davy Jones is and the phrase Davy Jones Locker.
Yeah.
So that had a huge crowd. Yeah. But then they went into these smaller mythical stories that one, aren't as big, and two, weren't as made as well. That's like two no's basically for like grabbing a crowd.
Well, something I don't know if there's a Pirates 6 in the future. I don't think it's on the Disney lineup right now.
I hope it's not.
This one made money, so I don't know. But
I can't believe.
But a great segue here. Are you ready for this?
Okay, what is it?
So Gore Verbinski, who directed Pirates 1, 2, and 3, it was announced this week unofficially. I think Deadline broke the news that he's rumored to be the director for Channing Tatum's Gambit X-Men movie. So Channing Tatum's been trying to make this Gambit movie for a very long time. He played him in. Gambit was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then we never saw him again. But he's
Gambit is the card player.
He's the card player. Yeah. He's one of the more popular X-Men characters, but we've just never seen him.
That was Channing Tatum.
I don't think he was in there. Let me check that. But I don't think he was in that in X-Men Origins. But Gambit was definitely in X-Men Origins. But Channing Tatum's been attached to this role for a couple years now.
Okay,
and, so he lost his director. The movie's been pushed back countless times. But they're saying Gore Verbinski is going to direct this time.
That would be interesting, because I don't think Channing Tatum was in X-Men.
I don't think he was in X-Men Origins as well, but I know the character.
Because all I remember from that movie is, honestly, the terrible CGI ladder.
Yeah, and then they just killed Deadpool. Yeah. Like, butchered Deadpool. Thank God Ryan Reynolds just continued that fight for Deadpool and made the movie he wanted to.
Exactly.
And, we have Deadpool 2 coming out pretty soon, in February, I think.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It'll be interesting to see how they try to one-up the first one.
I hope they don't lose, the magic of it. I hope they don't try to outdo themselves or fall into, a cliche or just try to do the same thing but funnier. Just, stick to it. Stick with the... I know they got a bigger budget, but the first Deadpool, I think, was a $60 million. And they made it work.
Yeah.
Superhero movies get $250 million budgets. Ridiculous amounts of money get poured into superhero movies.
Yeah.
But Deadpool was such a risk that it didn't, and it worked really well.
And almost that could have made it better because it made the universe of Deadpool smaller.
Oh yeah, we know he's in the X-Men universe, and he even makes jokes oh, you couldn't afford a better X-Men, and it worked really well. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, with Ryan Reynolds, we know he'll always care about the character, and he is the character so much so that we'll always have the character with him. But yeah, the X-Men universe is betting on him a lot because he's going to star in a X-Force movie after Deadpool 2.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's going to be finally reunited with the X-Men, and we'll see them all collaborate.
See, my question for you is, how did you like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 compared to the first one?
Okay, so I will say, okay. Starting off, I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'll say that. But it did try to... I'll say it knew what it had to do, and it tried a little too hard. The first one was just so organically and naturally, and part of it was just the shock value of something different, but the first one just worked so well. The second one was still good and still had a really good story, great visuals, great characters, still really cared about the characters, but I think it just tried to be funny too hard.
Yeah, I feel like with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they tried to do a lot of the same gags, same bits that they did in the first one that were successful.
Yep.
And so I thought of that once you said that Deadpool 2 didn't want to like kind of recreate the first one and that type of thing. So I was wondering, that'd be a good thing to compare it off of.
Yeah.
Just seeing how Deadpool 2, man, I can't say that
it's hard. It's hard.
Like compares to one as Guardian Galaxy did.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see when it comes out, but yeah, we always hope to see a good movie.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's it for this week. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments what you want us to talk about next time. I want to thank Kevin very much for joining me. Again, you can find him on the Filmmakers blog on YouTube, thefilmblog.com on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
You can find me at mtarantino5, Twitter and Instagram. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys very much, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
It's been very fun.